What's up, guys? Tawok here, welcoming you back for episode 12 of the Spicy Sausage. Another ghost pepper quality sausage. We are welcoming the legendary BigFryTV. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. Shout out to everyone in chat. Hello, hello.
And thank you for coming on, man.
Yes, very much. Very many props, kudos.
Hell yeah.
As per usual, I am joined by Mr.Blonde.
Yep. Those of you who are, what are we, episode 12, 13, you haven't gotten rid of me yet. It's going to be a while yet. So,
you've got tenure now.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
So, as per usual, we'll start with, how's your guys' weeks been, man? Fry?
Man, it's been good. It's been busy. Grinding videos, streaming, playing EFT, work full time. Right. Same shit. Wait, can we swear on this podcast?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can. Okay, same shit. Different day every
this is the
day.
toxic hub for SOCOM. Of course you can swear here.
Oh,
same
God.
Shoot, different darn it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Nah, man, just doing the same old thing.
Hitting that grind hard, brother.
Always.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Blonde?
Again, I always say it's been kind of uneventful because I'm kind of a boring fuck, but the thing that I did do this week that was interesting, or maybe the week before, but I'm just going to move it up because I need to have something to talk about, is I went to trivia at a local bar. We had some trivia, the 150th anniversary of Canada's Confederation, and they fucking sucked at it.
Woo!
I didn't know Wendell Clark's hometown, and I really should have just left right then, but there was a bunch of crazy shit on there that I did not know the answer to. For example, do you know what food Canadians eat more than any other country?
French
fries. I'll give you a hint. It's not French fries. I'll give you a hint. It is a dish. It's not just, I guessed it was just cheese, and I was half right.
Poutine?
It is not poutine.
Shit.
Surprisingly. I guess they didn't want to get too cliche. Anyways, I'm not going to, it was macaroni and cheese.
Really?
No way.
Yeah. The craft dinner is really popular here, so that sort of makes sense, I guess. But that's pretty much all that I was up to. That was out of the ordinary.
Beautiful. That would have took me a lot of guess to get mac and cheese for you guys.
Hey, Tawok, I just noticed that the title of the stream is hasn't been updated.
Oh, my man. Good looking out.
Fucking amateur.
Hey, I'm a toxic one here. I got you.
My man.
Amateur hour. Did that take you a half hour?
Yeah. H-hour puns.
Woohoo!
I still gotta actually get that.
As the technical guy here, yeah, that's sad. Total small thing. What an idiot! Classic cock smoke.
So how was your week, Tawok? You didn't tell us.
Woo! Okay, so I've been working straight for like 2 weeks so far.
Awesome.
Because my wife has a business where we sell like clay dragons and fairy gardens at Renaissance fairs. And, we make a decent amount of money, but it means I have to work straight through the summer. Like, I don't get days off. So, been sweating my ass off in some hot-ass Renaissance fairs and then pretending to crunch some code at the county, so I can't really complain.
Cool.
Been, grinding that SOCOM shit. You see that SOCOM speedrun shit take off? Woo!
Who's running that?
Your boy Tawok?
Yep.
Oh, that is you. Okay.
Yeah, there was a guy doing SOCOM 3 speedruns back in January. He runs SOCOM 3, but I was the first person to get SOCOM 1, 2, and Combined Assault on speedrun.com.
Just do 3 as well. Fuck it. Just move into that territory. Take it.
Just take it.
I didn't realize that was you. I know that you were tweeting about it on Twitter, but I didn't realize that it was you running it. That's sweet, dude.
It cool feels really nice to start something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I still have to get a capture card and get motivated to start running it because, I already spent enough time just fucking around myself that I think diving into speedrunning might not be the best for me at this point. But once if I ever do get a capture card, I do want to take a crack at least Death at Sea or something like that. Because there are a lot of people out there in the SOCOM community that I already know that are actually really diving into this themselves, which is pretty cool.
A funny thing you mentioned Death at Sea. We hit that GoldenEye stone lock on Death at Sea, where people are struggling to break 58 seconds. Like we're getting, at least 3 of us are hitting 58 seconds, but we can't break it.
Yeah. I mean, this early on, I don't expect it to be like maxed out. I'm sure there's going to be some new improvements that are going to happen sooner or later, but it is cool. Like I do like to see that kind of race. That's one of the most interesting things because I pay a lot of attention to the GoldenEye speedrunning guys, and one of the most interesting things about them is when there's this one time that everybody's sort of shooting for at the same time, and it's like who's going to get it first, and it's pretty cool. Although they have a lot of tied world records, whereas other games it's like one guy has it on an order of like a couple of milliseconds faster than the second.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we got every board on there filling up, and it's just super exciting to see something different and positive for the SOCOM community.
Oh, hell yeah.
So speaking of positive impacts for the SOCOM community, favorite thing to do on the Spicy Sausage when we have a guest is to ask you your SOCOM story.
Well, it would have been just before Christmas, the year SOCOM 2 came out, which was what, 2003, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah. So I actually didn't know what the fuck SOCOM was. I know my older sister, she had a bunch of friends who played SOCOM, and she had told us about it. I at that time playing online, it wasn't just wasn't in my head, you know what I mean? So she had asked for Christmas for the network adapter and all that shit, and then SOCOM 2 had just come out there, and so she got it all, and she only played it once, and it wasn't her thing. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I guess she just wanted to feel included, but. Yeah. For me, like I'm seeing this game sitting here, I've never played it. Booted it up, played a little bit of the single player. I was like, oh, okay, like I get it. It's just missions. I'm not a fan of the single player stuff. Like it was cool that it was there. The speed runs and shit are dope. Like I'm glad people are into it. For me, I was always on that multiplayer. So the first time I jumped in there, the first time I played multiplayer on a console, fell in love instantaneously. Called my boy. He lived down the street. He brought his PlayStation over. We got it hooked up. Cables running all over the fucking house, and we were playing SOCOM. And if she wouldn't have got it, I would never have touched it. You know what I mean? It just wasn't something that I was looking at the time. I think I was in 2003. I would have been 11. So I was just a little baby. Yeah, and changed my whole outlook on everything.
Really?
Yeah, crazy.
It does sound.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does sound to me like SOCOM a lot more than most other games that I play. Seems to really spread around, not from like advertising or anything, but mostly word of mouth. Like every time I hear somebody, it's like either somebody else got it and I found about it that way, and after that, it's like I played it and then immediately told everybody I knew.
Right. And
so, it spreads through small towns like a plague.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And yeah, like I remember playing it just every single day. I had come home from school, fuck homework. I'm playing this, 8 hours a day. Go to sleep 11, 12 at night, like just every single day. I never did anything else for years. Sometimes I'd play other games like on weekends and stuff, but it was always just SOCOM 2, and then dived into SOCOM 3, played that for a while, but always jumped back to SOCOM 2. It just always been with me.
And one thing I noticed the other day, I was looking at the Amazing Blues videos, and I saw some comments from you like 3 years ago, I want to say, where you're like, dude, are you that guy?
Right.
And he's like, I am.
That was fucking crazy because I was back during it would have been 3 years ago. I was just looking up random videos, and I see this dude, and I remember that as soon as I saw his name on the screen, it triggered something. I was like, yo, Amazing Blue, I remember playing with you. You were in my clan. Funny story, my buddy that lived down the street from me, we were in a clan war with this. I was in this clan. We were just decimated people. We didn't really jump into game battles. I was never really on that level because I was just a kid, but We were in a clan war. He pulled out a grenade launcher because he's a fucking asshole. My buddy grabbed the controller. I went to take a piss, I think. Pulls out a launcher, fires it, fucking done. Or he pulled out it was a rocket launcher or a GL. I can't remember which one it was, but we had access to it. He did it. He knew what was going to happen. And I got kicked out of my fucking clan. I was like, I was fucking heartbroken. I was a kid, like this is like, I play with these people, every single day, 8 hours a day. So heartbroken, right? And then I found him fucking 10 years later, 11 years later in a YouTube video, and I left a comment and I was like, I'm gonna take his name. I wonder if he kept his name. And I went to the PlayStation forums and I found his name on there, and I sent him a message on there, and he never got back to me for years. Like it was about, I want to say it was about a year ago he finally actually responded. So I was sitting here, I think I was streaming when I got the message. I was like, oh wow, fuck. And that dude has come back into this community like nobody's business. That message from him triggered him to go look into the SOCOM community. He's registered at TRS. He's doing, I think he's streaming like every other day. He's live, he's playing the games, he's on X-Link every day. Like he came right back in like nothing else. It's fucking crazy.
It is amazing that this old of a game can get people to go out and buy the console, buy the old game,
right.
Set up a land tunneling software. It's fucking crazy.
Animal just said he's playing with Amazing Blue right now in CA. Like that dude has dived, and like he messaged me. I remember he messaged me about a year ago, and he said I didn't realize that there were people playing on X-Link, and I was like, oh, this is it's not a big thing, but there are people there, and it's growing, and he's right there with it now.
Yeah, man. I should have mentioned this earlier. I've been playing the newest NHL in prep for when 18 comes out, if I end up getting that. And I went into a drop-in game, and this guy invited me to the party. We were all playing, and he mentioned SOCOM, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So we talk about that for a minute or two, and he doesn't even know about X-Link, and I told him about it. And I mean, I'm still running into people every now and then that are talking about SOCOM, and he was saying it seems like a bit of work to go and do it, but I'll send him the guide shortly, and hopefully we can rope him in. But it's people that just don't know about it. I think that would be interested if they had known, and there's also people that are still they're in the community now again after a very long absence, like Blue or and yeah. I just sort of trailed off there. I didn't really have any way to finish that sentence, but you know what I mean.
It's all good, yeah.
That was really awesome. I was adjusting some shit here, and I accidentally clicked one of my other overlays on OBS, and it just showed my fupa off to the audience. Hope you guys liked that sneaksy peeksies. So Big Fry, what game has your most excitement right now? Like it could be something that's out already, something that's coming. Like what's got your fucking ire?
Released right now, we're playing PUBG and we're playing EFT, Escape from Tarkov. Those two games just fill all my tactical needs, my shooter needs right now. In the future, I'm looking at getting into the alpha for Insurgency Sandstorm. So that's the Insurgency that's coming to Unreal Engine. It's coming onto the PS4. I think that's going to be a game changer for a lot of these SOCOM people who are still playing fucking Rainbow Six. Still kind of not really looking at X-Link as an alternative. That game is going to come in and change the game, I think, for a lot of us.
I'll have to start keeping more tabs on it, yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to really like it. And if they do the mod support like they did on the Source engine, and if they allow that to happen on consoles, there's some potential there for sure. Yeah,
I'm hoping that a lot of some more companies follow suit with what Bethesda did, and like a long time ago, what they did with Unreal Tournament 3, where I think on the PS3 version there was a bit of mod support, and I just hope a lot more games can do that, and that Sony can play ball with that, because,
right?
I mean, that's one of the things from PC that I do want to see consoles adopt, whereas I get really, really mad when I see somebody with a mouse and keyboard adapter and I'm playing Siege, because I feel like
you can do that. You can plug a mouse and keyboard into your PS4 and play using that peripheral.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've heard that there's input delays. It's not like 100%. It's not amazing. But my problem with that, especially with Rainbow Six Siege, if I can go on this tangent again, which I think I've already done so on a podcast or two, is that on console, they actually toned down the recoil from the PC version because obviously we're all a bunch of fucking Neanderthals that can't use a mouse and we need less recoil.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm annoyed, is because they're getting the benefits of the mouse and keyboard and the fucking laser beams that don't have much recoil compared to the PC version. It's just whack. It's whack to me. A bunch of
just upgrade. Just listen. Look, sell the PlayStation. Get rid of it. Throw it out a window. Do what you got to do. Get yourself a functioning PC and upgrade. I'm telling you.
That's
come
real
to the
talk.
PC. Come to the master race. You'll love it. Trust me.
But right,
this has got to be the first time I've had a fellow PCMR member on the spicy sausage with me.
Baby, drop the sticks. Pick up the MK. Come on.
You know, 60 frames feels so right.
Doesn't it?
I don't care about it's cinematic. The 30 cinematic frames, except for when it drops down to 21 when I'm playing GTA.
Right.
Come on, Tyzilla just came to the master race. You can come to the master race, baby. Come home.
Well, if you want to get me a bunch of Mundo Nero lottery tickets, then I can look forward to that in the future.
I'll get you some loony lottery tickets, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've covered your origin story, the Big Fry issue number 1. What next? Should we were talking about EFT or PUBG. I've heard my clan actually. They're pretty hard into PUBG right now. The PC guys.
So good. Yeah.
I think that might be one of the things that convinces me, between them talking about it and you talking about it. And every time I watch a stream of the doc, you know, I'm all about that game just being a spectator sport.
It's, for sure.
Very interesting.
Some people say it's boring, but like I don't know. I like the slower paced gameplay for sure.
It can be boring if they take the wrong route or something like that.
Right.
I remember
or if they're constantly just running forever. Yeah.
I definitely find EFT more exciting to watch than PUBG.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay. Is that because of its play style? It's a little bit smaller engagement. You don't have to run for fucking 20 minutes before you see somebody.
I absolutely think that's
right?
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, different approaches to the same kind of concept, I think, and I can appreciate both of them. I need to see more of Tarkov, which I think I will soon.
Did they fix the AI, Fry?
Yeah, you were saying something about the AI being...
Yeah. So the AI was the beta just dropped on Friday. The AI came out. It was fucking broken. The 180 laser beam shotguns from across the map. Like, it was ridiculous, unplayable. Like, to the point where I didn't even want to touch it. They dropped a hot fix yesterday, which made it play a lot better. There's still some issues. It's almost like some of the bots didn't take the patch, if that makes sense. Like, 1 out of every 10 will laser beam the fuck out of you.
Dude, I saw that clip where you're sneaking up behind him with the axe, and he exorcisted around to fucking shoot you without looking at you.
It was fucking ridiculous, but it's gotten a lot better. Now the only focus that they got to worry about is desync on the servers. I don't think they're going to do that because they're still letting people in. They're doing it in waves, right? So that they don't just like completely decimate their servers, which I guess I can respect. But I got to wait until all those waves are done before we can see where the servers are at. Let's add servers as they go or whatever. Then we got to see about fixing the desync and getting those issues fixed. But other than that, we're looking pretty good right now. I love the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to keep some more tabs on it. It does look pretty interesting. I remember hearing, I think you're the first person that I heard about the game from, talking about like the revolutionary leaning around system. I don't know if that's still a big deal or if that's sort of fallen by the wayside with other features coming in.
Leaning around. Are you talking? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like the variable movement, like height, crouching, and all that stuff. Yeah. No, that's pretty freaking sweet. Yeah, the movement, and that's the thing. Everyone keeps asking about that game coming to consoles. That game, as is right now, with all of those features in there, will never work on a controller. Right? You have to play mouse and keyboard for something like that.
3.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not going to work unless you're getting a dumbed down experience. And what's the point at that point, right? But yeah, no, it's coming together. I'll say that it's slow. The development is god awfully slow, but we're getting there. So
slow and steady.
Right. I mean, steady, kind of inconsistent, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. I mean, I see a lot of games these days that either take 20 years to develop, or they just rush through it, and doesn't seem like there's middle ground a lot of the time.
No, I agree.
Crunch time, but yeah, that sounds pretty nice. What should we cover after that? See, this is the dead air portion of the podcast where I rack my brain for something to fucking talk about. Oh yes, yeah, I wanted to ask. I think I talked to you guys about it a little bit before we went live, but I wanted to ask, just out of the curiosity of somebody that's sort of breaking into the podcasting business,
right?
Going to create a podcast dynasty. I want to hear from you about the origins of the Digital Fire podcast.
Yeah, it originally, because like when I first started getting the channel together, I was doing fucking dumb videos about Arma and just trolling people and stuff like that. When I started actually like getting the opinion content,
hold on. You talk really low about those videos, but you had this one video where you ran into like a marriage in an Arma church, and that wedding. Shit had me laughing, man.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Nobody watched those videos. I think personally, going back and looking at it, they're fucking hilarious. But you know, it is what it is. If people don't want to watch it, whatever. But yeah, no, those videos were good. But then I started, H Hour was announced on the Kickstarter. I started to watch the progress there. And then it came to a point where there were two sides of the community. Things were getting split. David Sears was still there at the time. And then I put a video out talking about H Hour and what it needs, and the community can be there and whatever. That kind of started to blow up. People started subbing from, the H Hour and the SOCOM community started coming through. So I was like, you know what? I want to start a podcast. Let's get some SOCOM people. And it was just, at the beginning, it was me, Buck Fan, who's still on the show. And then we had Steph, or you guys might know him as SOCOM Steph on Twitter.
Yeah.
He was
him on there.
Yeah. So he was on the original. He was there he was there shortly after H Hour got funded. Remember when they put the H Hour is going to early at full steam ahead, you know, whatever. He had left shortly after that. I think him and David Sears got together and did their thing. But yeah, so it started up. I was originally going to call it the Frostfire podcast, but I knew just pigeonholing myself in the SOCOM community, that's not a good thing. So I was like, you know what, let's just change it. Let's try and work something. And I was like, Digital Fire. Came up with an original logo. I was like, that works perfectly. So it was originally going to be SOCOM only. And
do you mean naming yourself after a SOCOM object is not good for a podcast?
Because we're in too deep at that point.
I mean, if you guys would have called yourselves the Desert Glory Podcast, yeah, I'd be okay. Let's dial it back. Spicy Sausage, you could take that anywhere, right? Digital Fire, you can take that anywhere. Frostfire, that's a little too close to home with that. So yeah, so Steph left, and then it was me and Buck for a while, and then we went into the H Hour testing, and when all that shit was going down, we played the game, and the fallout happened and all that shit, and we came back and we were like, okay. We took a couple months because we know we were set up at that point, like people were going to be asking us all questions about alpha, and we just didn't even want to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Because that's all it's going to be. We were under NDA. We couldn't do it. So we were like, take a couple months off. We came back. And at that time, I was actually down in California for, where the fuck were we? Oh, I was there for Star Wars Celebration. And at the time, there's this Arkansas big curly headed fuck making these SOCOM videos. And he sends me one on Twitter as I'm down in the States. And he's like, yo, you're my biggest inspiration ever. You're my favorite YouTuber ever. And it turns out that this dude's name is something like Tyzilla. And he sends me a video of him talking about how we should remaster Confrontation. That was his video. And I watched it when I was down there in the hotel. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? It's like remastering Confrontation. Get out of here.
So the first time you met Tyzilla was like in person at a convention?
No, he had messaged me on Twitter.
Okay.
Out of the blue, no idea who the fucking guy is. He sends me a video. He's like, "Yo, I want you to check this out," and it's him talking about remastering Confrontation. And so I come back, and I wrote it off completely. I'm not gonna lie, Ty. I see you in chat. I wrote it off. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." Came back, and I was like, "Okay, let me rewatch this video and see what this dude's about." He did a couple of videos, and I was like, "Oh, well, okay, well let's bring him on a show. Fuck it." And he was there ever since. And if you want to talk about the origin of Focus, we were bringing guests on every week, kind of like what you guys do now. And I found that with the channel blowing up the way it was, spending time finding guests every week that had microphones, that had everything set up, and would have been a good fit. I was like, I can't do it anymore. We always relied on Focus to come through when we didn't have a guest because he's just a great talker. He vibed with everybody, and it was good. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just ask him if he wants to be a permanent spot, and we'll go from there. And that's kind of where the podcast is now. So
everybody's got to have that guy that eats on the podcast.
And it's always fucking him, always eating corn nuts.
Dude, he was chowing his ass off tonight, just eating.
Right. You're my favorite YouTuber. Yeah, well, Ty was writing them DMs. Dude, you're an inspiration.
That's a good message. Just if you ever want to message your heroes on YouTube,
I love you.
Just expect them. Okay, buddy. Okay, retire.
That's pretty much what it was at first. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then I actually sat down and watched it, and I was like, okay, let's hear him out for real.
Yeah, and look, I mean, we did have Project Confrontation. A while back. I think they're on.
Whoa!
I think I don't want to head into a sore spot.
Let's go. Let's fuck it.
Are they
on?
I'm totally okay with this happening.
Are they on hiatus right now, or are they Dunsky? I think they're on hiatus.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
Is Eagle still in the chat? What's up, man?
Sorry, what were you saying, Tawok?
I was just asking if Eagle was still in the chat.
Well, there you go. I'm just saying that because I enjoyed having them on the show, as I'm sure you guys did when you had them on.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. Had a good experience with them. I don't have anything bad to say about anybody there because I've not, had too much interaction with them. And I think that, the project was pretty interesting to me. I liked reading the dev blogs. They were always really professionally structured, if that makes sense. You could just go down the list and I don't give a shit about how the music sounds. Sorry, Fab. But, if you just wanted to hear about the programming developments, or if you just wanted to see how the concept art's working out, then they had it sort of structured in categories. But since then, I've not heard very much about it. I think obviously there's a bit of a falling out, and just a tad there, just a tad.
Is a falling out a good way to describe it, Fry?
Yeah, a fucking full-blown meltdown, maybe? Yeah.
It's a falling out. Bit of a hiccup there, and haven't heard much of them since.
Hit a rough patch.
But
Sour patch.
Hope it all works out eventually.
Honestly, though, I'll say this: I don't like Sour Patch. Obviously, I think he's a piece of shit. But I hope best case scenario right now for them, and I still hope the project succeeds. I hope they come out 6-7 months from now, working on it in the back end, aren't putting anything out, and they come out with a new build and they blow people away. Right. That is the best case scenario. And even though we had our problems, I hope that just because I enjoy everybody else who's on that team, right? Yeah. Eagle never. I mean, I've had problems with him with H-Hour and all that shit, but whatever. Ranger, I don't know where he sits now because he didn't like the way all that shit went down. And they had Harry on there as well. I like all those guys. I think that they're good people. I just don't like the dude running the show. But that's where I'm at with it.
That seemed to happen with every SOCOM project.
Seems to be a common occurrence.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I was asked to test Task Force and give them feedback and stuff, and I'm at the point I'm not getting involved with projects in a capacity that I not even tried to be with that one, but those guys they were coming to us talking about the problems that they were having on the team. They were at least coming to me, And I don't want to be that person. I just want to do my own thing. That's why I haven't even really been talking SOCOM lately. I want to do my own thing. I want to focus on growing my shit, because when these guys eventually do come knocking for SOCOM people, who are they going to? You know what I mean? They're going to come back to all these people who are out here making content and are in this community. But I don't want to be involved at that capacity anymore, to the point where they're hitting me up for personal beefs with the I don't even want to be in that. I just want to play the fucking game. I'll tell you if it sucks or not, and that's it. Move on.
Yeah,
because I don't need DMs being thrown out on Twitter when all it was just me trying to help. You know, I don't need that shit. I don't have time for it.
I don't blame you, man.
You know, so fuck it.
No, that's fair enough. What you were saying before as well, about them just sort of working in the dark for a couple of months. I do like that idea, just based on, I hear Wooly from the Super Best Friends talk about it a lot, about how he would just say, he's like, oh, you've got this cool fan game coming out? Okay, that's cool. Shut the fuck up. Just calm down and finish it, and then, you know, to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. I don't know if that's going to be as much of a big deal as far as like avoiding cease and desists or anything like that from Project Confrontation. But what we have seen is stuff like, you know, the fan projects come out, they're like, hey, this is what we're working on, here's our early build, and then eventually some inner drama or outer drama or whatever the fuck happens just sort of eats away at it. Whereas I feel like you could avoid that almost entirely if you just drop that single and then they come for the album. You know what I mean? It's a unique thought from Mr. Blonde that was not taken or inspired by anybody else. Absolutely.
Yeah, like honestly, anybody entering this space right now, if you're trying to come up with a SOCOM clone or project or whatever, just work at it. Don't start promoting the shit too early, because you're just gonna get ripped apart from the community, right? As is. Half these people coming in, like, do you guys remember those fucking idiots on the forums? Who the fuck were they? Was it DNX Studios?
The mobile one?
Yeah. Like, what do you even promote? You guys, yeah, Blonde, you might not have seen.
Remember that.
It was like a mobile game, and the game just looked like garbage. And they're sitting here like talking about how they're going to turn it into the SOCOM on mobile so that you guys can play while you're on the road. And it's just, no, you guys are way too early. It looks like you built it in a weekend. Like, just stay away until your game is ready, or at least close to ready for people to actually put their hands on it, right? Redline did exactly that. I personally wish that the game was farther along, but I mean, obviously it's early. I wish that they would do exactly what he did. Keep it quiet, keep it an internal testing build until you're ready for people to actually test shit, and then bring it out, right? Yeah, Project Confrontation. I don't know about that. I hope they succeed, just for everyone else on the team's sake. But
yeah, you got me excited now. Now I'm looking for a remake of SOCOM Mobile Recon.
No, dude, it looked like shit.
Nokia.
I actually just signed up. Somebody hit me up. There's actually another game. It's called, was it Freedom of Forces or something like that? And it's a mobile game, and it's a third-person shooter. And people are like, why don't you try this out? So I applied for it, and apparently their testing on iOS is full. I just looked up Freedom of Freedom. Forces of Freedom is what it's called. I'll put a link in the chat here.
I'll take a look at it in a little bit. Yeah. There's been a couple of games like that people have been recommended that people take a look at. Like Drawn to Death was free on PS Plus a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Months. And there was that one that I saw in the forums that was this random like anime third-person shooter, and that's about all I got out of it. And I don't know, the art style obviously didn't really mesh with me, considering what you're playing. But I mean, that game might be good. I don't know.
If it's third person and has guns, it's a SOCOM clone in this fucking community now. Guys, it's the next SOCOM. You guys remember H1Z1's the next SOCOM, guys? It really is. Come on.
Nice. Got the echo. We need to get that shit going on.
I know.
The effects. That's what all the, you need the sweet transitions to walk.
No, were you just saying that America's Army is the next SOCOM?
It is. It has guns and has rounds.
Yeah. Guns and rounds. Right, the rounds go in the gun.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
One Life.
SOCOM clone.
I like it. You know what I mean? I like the game. It's very rough. I wouldn't call it the next SOCOM, but I would say it's got some things that in common, obviously.
I mean, shit, it's barely the next America's Army at this rate. Like, let's be real.
I do find the revival system a bit weird, and it's got the same issues that I have with Battlefield 1, where you can just sit there and wait to get revived for like a minute and a half.
Right.
It's kind of ridiculous. I think it should be a bit more time sensitive.
It's funny we're talking about this America's Army
guys.
SOCOM thing, and I just watched Tyzilla's video the other day, and he did that video so well, where in the beginning he makes me believe, I'm like, okay, he really does think this could be a new SOCOM, and then, like, as it progresses, you're like, oh, okay, here it comes.
JK.
Well, and the thing is like, you have all these people, and this is what pisses me off about this community, too. I'm going all around here, sorry. You have these people that are asking for them to add third-person mode. And it's like, you guys don't realize that you can't just throw a third-person mode into a game and expect everything to be hunky-fucking-dory. The maps are built for first-person perspective, right? Yeah. You throw the camera 10 feet behind them on an anchor, you're going to start clipping through walls. They're going to have to fix the code to do that. Like, it's a lot more effort than it's just throw third-person in. It's just like SOCOM. Like, why don't we focus on getting a third-person game built from the ground up? Because putting a third-person mode in America's Army might be good for a weekend for you, but it's not gonna last like that.
I was back like when Call of Duty had a third-person mode.
Right.
It just
I was
wasn't
just
good.
thinking of that. I tried that once. I remember a couple of videos that I saw of like Minnesota Burns or something like that. And I did this to my friend in town too, was to troll people. We'd like 1v1 them in third-person mode with headshots only. Because nobody had any clue how to aim in third person. That's how you do it.
It's brutal.
But yeah. I mean, there's certain times where you can just sort of toss third person in, like the CS:GO mod, compared to like considering the amount of work that went into it and the fact that it's obviously Counter-Strike and not SOCOM. I think it ended up turning out pretty well.
Right.
Not exactly, like obviously not identical, but.
Right, and the thing about that is you had the third-person mode added in, and then they had the maps built, right? Like, he built Desert Glory. He had, was it Crossroads and Frostfire? All those were built around that, right? So the perspectives are different. The sizes of the items in the map are different. Everything was built specifically for it. You didn't see anybody playing third-person mode on, Mirage, right? I mean, maybe you did. I don't know. But it probably wouldn't play correctly, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a very, very much important the synthesis of like all of the game design, like including the level design and the sound design and the art design and the actual coding of how the game engine works and stuff like that. I think it's often a lot more complex than any mod or any weird addition to America's Army could make for a competent feeling experience.
And like Animal said, you make friends with these guys, right? The developers for America's Army, you make friends with them because they're not going to be working on the game forever. Guys like Rebellion, who made Sniper Elite, those are the ones that we need to be actively promoting as a community, right? Because those are developers that might actually look at that as somebody who's indie, somebody who might not be looking for Call of Duty numbers and sales, and they look around and they say, well, here's a community literally chomping at the bit to give us money if we built a third-person SOCOM-like game, right? Those are the people you have to promote to. Yeah, I agree.
Well, like, you have to look at, I'm pretty sure, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I think America's Army is developed by a literal, like, Pentagon programming team. Like, I think the American government subsidizes that shit.
See, I thought it was originally
but it probably
funded.
outsources it.
Right, like, yeah, I'm not sure who the actual dev team is.
I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know who it is. But I can't imagine like there's dudes at the Pentagon making fucking video games. I mean, maybe.
Well, it's one of their best recruiting tools right now is to have that video game, because like when you play that, you definitely can notice it's like a straight up recruitment tool.
Yeah, it's got the videos playing in the loading screen and stuff like that, and a bunch of obviously Army iconography and like, hey, if you want to learn more, go check it out. And you had the same stuff in SOCOM. You still had like the, hey, go check out us.savvy.neil.mil,
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, it says that America's Army is Developer United States Army.
Interesting.
Well,
Adam
there you
says the
go.
dev is contracted by the government. Yeah, so I wonder like who is actually contracted, if that's something that they can even release, or if it's just a bunch of different devs like cobbled up in a fucking room somewhere from different
And
teams. I don't know.
We just talked to Lukenbacher about this the other day, offline on Discord, when he was talking about how he's like, well, it makes sense they'd make an America's Army game because the Army is one of the easiest branches of the military to get into. Why would they
Right.
make a SOCOM game to advertise for new Navy SEALs when the selection process is so brutal and so few of video gamers would even qualify for that? When I was a doughy 17-year-old, SOCOM made me want to be a SEAL. That movie in-game was badass.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. When are you talking about the one where they like, I think, when they drop out of a helicopter and there's like a little floaty boat and shit?
Hell
Is that the
yeah.
one you're talking about?
The live
I
action
still
one.
love.
Yeah.
I still love the story in the documentary. The documentary on the SOCOM 1 disc that I watched like 20 times. I still have the story of the guy who's like, man, in Hell Week you get 4 hours of sleep, and I fell asleep while I was carrying a boat and running.
Well, and I think another thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and we don't really talk about it that much, is I think the U.S. Navy SEALs, the SOCOM franchise struck at a time in America that is a lot different than it is now.
Yeah,
you know what I
it was
mean?
very
2002, floaty boats. The ones that you blow up. Give me a break, animal.
inflatable boats.
The boat technicals.
Yeah.
Like a Zodiac or a rib or something like that.
Right. But yeah, like 2001, obviously 9/11 happens. 2002, SOCOM comes out, fucking sells like 3 million copies, right? Or I'm sorry, SOCOM 1, then SOCOM 2, and then like I feel like it was just a product of the environment that it was in, and I think that's why it was so successful. And maybe that's what Sony's looking at. They're just like, yo, this was successful because of the reasons A, B, and C back then. What would it be like now? And they probably look at the numbers going downwards, trending downwards. They obviously don't think that it was anything to do with them and their decisions, which it was. We know that. And I really think that's a big reason why we don't have it today.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. But I do like what you said before about reaching out to a studio like Rebellion.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're already in the third-person shooter sphere. They've got the Sniper Elite games that are pretty popular for what they are. And if they were to tackle a SOCOM project in the idealist fantasy world that I live in, they could draw on two fan bases basically. They could like from the makers of Sniper Elite and also obviously us.
Obviously.
But it's a shame sometimes to see other third-person shooters, even if I don't really like them, kind of fail. I just had the name in my head, and I immediately forgot it. No, not yes, H-Hour, but I was thinking of Metal Gear Online for a second, just because of how goofy the online for that is.
Right, yeah.
And also, I can't even say that Ghost Recon Wildlands' PvP has failed because it isn't out yet.
Hold on.
Expect it might.
How big of an NDA is that motherfucker right now? Like, is it like...
It's a pretty big NDA.
Damn.
I imagine.
Damn it. That GIF I shared earlier where it's Peter trashing the living room, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah,
good things.
I can't wait for that to come
true.
out. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm gonna say that.
I've been waiting.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Because we had worries from some of the trailer material, the promotional material that they ran back when the game was coming out, like 4v4 tactical PvP, and it was showing like people getting marked and stuff like that, and we were kind of worried like, oh, it's going to be kind of a goofy, here's like 43 beacons over people's heads and here's the objective and you can't see anything mode. But I don't know, I'm willing to give it a shot. 4v4 to me sounds, honestly, I was about to say it's a little low, but then again, my favorite matches in SOCOM were always the low pop, like 4v4 ones, where it's not too crazy and it's not artillery fire in the middle of the map for the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think
don't get yourself in trouble, man. We don't have to go there if you don't want to go there.
Honestly, I don't think it's low, but I wish it was bigger, if that makes sense. I'll just say that.
Gotcha.
Because it's a pretty big scale game. I was thinking of certain areas that would make good maps, like the training camp in Montouillac would be pretty cool, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
That place
I'm
you
sure
got to
they
go
can-
for that like super sniper rifle. That is a really great area.
Which one's that?
It's like what is it called? Like the HTK or H2K. It's HTI.
HTI.
There you go.
Yeah. Isn't that just like out on a train?
It was
train
in
car
like
somewhere?
a little satellite building right by like the training camp. I think you're thinking of.
Maybe. I would like to see the like a rework of the mine shaft where you find the main boss of that area.
Yeah,
Because that place was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Right.
Because I think there's a lot of potential for areas in that game to be
Oh, yeah.
converted or sort of reworked. And I am interested to see what they do with the maps because it's been a while. And I want to see my dream would be if they do the SOCOM 4 technique where they have the over the shoulder thing in single player, but in multiplayer you have the option for the centered behind the back thing.
Okay.
Even
I
if-
see what you're saying.
But I mean, at the same time, the way the game's designed, it probably might not be able to accommodate even that kind of change.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm talking about dreams about Wildlands, I would dream of them reworking the squad order system so that you can actually order your squad to do things that aren't just walk over there and shoot. Don't even shoot
Right.
that guy particularly. Just shoot. But I mean, I could talk about that. It's
yeah. We want to spend
Still
like
a
a
bit of a
third or
sore spot
fourth
in some
episode
areas.
of the spicy sausage dogging on
we've
Wildlands.
discussed it at length.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. What do you think of Operation Health with Rainbow Six, or have you been keeping up with that?
I haven't played Rainbow Six in a long time, but I think that the game was broken when I played it. And I'm surprised. Like I've been watching Abel play it like every day. I don't know how the hell he's doing it. I think the game is still like it's not in a state that is not. I mean, it's playable, but it's just not in a state that I would want to really like invest any more time to. And then with Operation Health coming out, like that just solidified my complaints. 6 months ago, that the game is fucking in a bad state right now. I see that they're releasing alpha packs though for like skins now during Operation Health. I mean, okay.
Gotta
Like,
milk it dry. It's Ubisoft.
Well,
Right, like
wait. Hold on a second. Hold it down. You actually can't buy the alpha packs with money, I don't think. I think you actually have to earn them. There's the random drop chance if you win a match. And you can also buy them for the renown but as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, as far as I know, you can't use the Rainbow Six credits to buy them or anything like that. Granted,
okay.
in a month's time that may change, and I wouldn't really be surprised all that much if it was like a brass decision at Ubisoft, like, what the fuck is this? A microtransaction is free? Come on! And then they have to change it. But
Right.
As it stands, to me, it seems like a benign enough addition to the customization progression system. But having said that, I played a little bit of Siege. I finally got ranked this season after not being ranked for like 2 seasons. And I've had fun with it. I feel like there are still some network issues, and certain operators have been buffed and nerfed, and they're still juggling the balance of each operator, and it's just sort of a rocky kind of environment. And I don't think I'm ever going to play it as often as I did when it launched, just because
Right.
it was a breath of fresh air at the time. But I mean, it's still a fun enough game, and I do like the unique kind of concept they went with for the multiplayer. And I hope that whenever they come out with a sequel, they just basically do this game again, except better and with single player. And let us customize the recruits so that everybody that for some reason likes Rainbow Six Vegas 2 can shut the fuck up about how they made their guy look like the Pain from Snake Eater. And
Right.
they can't do that in Siege anymore. So it's a worse game.
Okay, I really feel like Rainbow Six Siege could have benefited from like a full-blown story mode, though.
Yeah.
Those operations
Well,
are weak.
You think like when we heard about Patriots, right?
Oh,
Like, wasn't there some controversy there about how the story was taking place?
yeah. That was a
It seemed
Sears
like a really
piece.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been something pretty cool. And I saw these moral choices and stuff like that. And I mean, that all sounds cool and all. I like the idea of a moral choice system in video games, and when it's done right, it's done pretty well. And I like it. But at the same time, when if I'm playing a Rainbow Six game, I don't know if I'm in for that. If that makes any sense. Like, I don't think of Rainbow Six 3, and I'm like, you know what, that you should have been able to arrest that guy.
Right.
Although maybe you should have. Well, I will be interested to see if they work anything like that into Ready or Not. You see that segue?
I was just about to bring it up.
Oh,
good segue there, Blonde.
What a segue, buddy. What do you think
So
about
good.
that? I've seen some
I think it's
developer
gonna be great.
shit come out. Yeah, same here.
Mhm.
I've been watching while he posts up himself playing like a level of SWAT 4, and he's talked about the game a couple of times.
you talking about like ordinary gamers or whatever?
Yeah, Mudhar, yeah. He rocks out on SWAT 4 every now and then. And it brings me back, because I only ever played the demo for SWAT 3, I think. And I didn't really get to play any of SWAT 4, but I've seen a lot of footage of it, and it does look like a game that if I put enough time into figuring out the command menu and getting used to the speed of the game and getting into the idea of the procedural, like you got to do everything right kind of gameplay, I'd be really into it. But I never got the chance, and obviously fucking nothing is coming out like that on PS4. So if Ready or Not makes it to PS4, that might be my in. But I do hope that turns out good. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add about it, or if I just sort of filibustered the whole conversation about that game in particular. But
no, the thing is it's too early, right? It's too early to tell. Everything that they've shown so far looks fucking great, but I'm waiting for gameplay, like just raw, uncut gameplay. Once we have that, we can start to see their vision a little bit more. It's looking more dark than I thought. Like Rainbow, like what I think of what Patriots was going to be. I feel like this is going to be like on the same level of like kind of a more darker storyline, darker tone.
Definitely the first. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, definitely the first reveal trailer where they show like all the anal staircase, obviously,
right,
was very. It had that goofy meme in it, but that was just sort of tossed in amongst a bunch of scenes of pretty heavy stuff, and I think.
Right.
I don't know if they're going for like some overarching, like, oh, this big conspiracy thing, or if they just really want to have a bunch of missions sort of outlining what a SWAT team member has to really go through, because those are, you're not going there to, you don't send a SWAT team to like a minor domestic disturbance. It's kind of a heavy situation every time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to see some pretty interesting stuff come out of that. All
right, we're trailing.
I always trail, man.
I've told you before, man, that's almost like a talent, though.
No, yeah, but I mean, I could count the number of sentences I've ended with well, three hands right now. I mean, I don't mean to trail off or anything.
I mean, we are about to hit that hour point. It's getting about time for SOCOM Combined Assault Community Night. Yeah, we're just about to hit 55 minutes, dude.
Jesus, that went by like nothing.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we go on a little longer, but, I think keeping it tight, I don't know what else we could cover if we wanted.
You going to stream something after this, Fry, or are you calling it early night?
No, I got a video to chop up here, so I'm going to do that and then probably go to sleep. Yep.
Nice. That video containing all the secrets of the Ghost War PvP.
Yes.
God damn it. I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait to talk about it. You guys have no idea.
Do you know how long you're looking at before you can even talk?
Yes, I do, but I'm not allowed to say.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah. Because that's a pretty big secret.
Gotcha. Yeah, I imagine so.
It's one of those things you sort of want the answer, but yes, fair enough. But no, I think everybody busting at the seams to talk about it is definitely a good sign, I would say. not busting at the seams.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody being sort of interested in talking about it now and waiting for the
Right.
deadline. Because I've heard good things. Like I said, I heard great things on Twitter, and I just hope it does. It did age well for having been in development for so long.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I even reinstalled Wildlands just to get into the game. I started up Tier 1 mode, actually. Tawok, have you been informed of Tier 1 mode?
I've been informed, but it doesn't make me any more interested, because from what I hear, it just makes them sponge more bullets and doesn't necessarily make them smarter or anything like that.
It's nothing. The way I look at it is, you advance in tiers, and the thing that I find helpful is that as you advance your tiers, it increases the minimum difficulty that you can play on. So at tier 50, it's arcade, and right now I'm on regular, and I was playing on maximum difficulty before because that's just how I roll. And going back makes it a lot easier. But what helps is every time you level up in tier 1 mode, you get a supply pack every now and then of just supplies for skills or for upgrading your weapons or whatever. And on top of that, as you level up, you get bonuses on every amount of supplies. So if I get a convoy right now, instead of where it used to be like a 5,000 supply convoy, it'd be like 700 or 7,500.
Okay.
And that speeds things up a bit when you're going for a certain skill or something like that, which is helpful for me because I beat the game. I saw the endings, and before I saw the endings, I was gonna go around and get all the collectibles, and then I saw them and I decided against it. But this rejuvenated it for me for a little bit.
Okay, I mean, you piqued my curiosity on it. I don't know if I'm gonna sacrifice the 60 gigs or whatever it is to install that game.
It isn't much. It is a very big. It's a tall order.
I only ever killed 2 of the people that I needed, and then I was supposed to go after what's his face, and I was just like, Tyzilla really wants us to have Cam so we can blow him kisses.
I'd rather just blow him.
Ooh.
See,
You're right, ladies and gentlemen.
It is
that kind of podcast tonight.
And on that, I think we should end it. You can't top that.
I agree.
What are you going to top that with? That was
cherry and ice cream.
Quick-witted. But yeah, no, I'm tapped out. I don't really have anything else.
Yeah, I'm tapped out too. I'm ready to go play some SOCOM with the community and be toxic as fuck.
I'm gonna go post on forums for the rest of the night.
Crack open a
Sound
coldie.
good?
Yeah.
And while you're posting on the forums all night, are you gonna remind us how little you care?
Yo, always 100%. Let me go post an argument, and then when people try to answer me, I'm just going to deny them.
All right, guys, now is a great time to go ahead and put a lid on it.
Yeah. All right.
Before someone gets told they're going to get blown again. That's usually where we end it, is when oral sex gets threatened.
One or two of those in the night.
Focused. Focused wants me to tell Swill and Mac that he loves them. And that's going to do it for episode 12 of The Spicy Sausage. Fucking Big Fry, thanks for coming out, man. Taking time out of your schedule to talk about whatever we trail into next.
Stupid bullshit.
I appreciate it, guys.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you having you on board. And thank you. I'll send you the invoice later. It's a small fee for appearing.
Makes sense. All right.
Yep.
For the plugs.
Right, of course, naturally.
You can check out Big Fry's podcast at digitalfirepodcast.edu or whatever the link is. I was hoping Tawok would have that because I came woefully unprepared.
And a big thanks to Mr. Blonde for coming out to speak once again with me. If you guys want to check out more Big Fry, you can go to twitter.com/BigFryTV. You can find him on Twitch at BigFryTV. Facebook. What the hell else are you on, man? I know you're on everything now.
Yeah, you guys follow me on Instagram. Smash a like on this content. You guys are going to love it. Make sure you leave
500,000
down below. We need 500,000 likes.
smash that motherfucker. I'm gonna dab on the haters. Peace.
Boom.
You crazy mother.